So I was recently in a debate with a fellow NBA fan, and he said something many of you have said in the past. He said, "I don't get why everyone hates on KD for his decision when LeBron did it first." That's when I decided to make this video. This is a narrative that needs to die fast. LeBron's decision to join Miami was a huge deal. I'm not denying that. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh was definitely a super team, but it wasn't the first super team. What it was the first super team to be organized and created by the players. Never before had 3 of the top 10 players in the league all signed with the same team in free agency. They discussed this, and they made the move together. Think about the great super teams of the past. Magic and Bird were drafted, Jordan and Pippen were drafted, Shaq was signed but Kobe was traded for, Allen and Garnett were traded for. It was organizations that created these super teams, so in that sense, LeBron in Miami was the first player-arranged super team. It was new and uncharted territory and honestly changed the league and even further empowered the players. LeBron was even confident enough to famously predict multiple championships for his new Miami team.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
You could see that this team was potentially a dynasty the day it formed. With that being said, this wasn't a sure thing. Team chemistry is always a factor. They didn't have much depth on the roster. They had a new and unproven head coach, and almost the entire roster was basically learning to play together for the first time. That's a much different situation than an already established 73-9 team that recently won a championship, simply adding a former MVP in the prime of his career. KD and his team had also just been eliminated from the playoffs by this 73-9 team that he was joining. An elimination that may not have occurred if he hadn't shown up small in games 6 and 7 against the Warriors. Nothing about those details resemble LeBron joining the Miami Heat. Also consider the fact that Miami wasn't just beating everyone on talent alone. When they assembled, they actually had a rough start and faced plenty of trials and challenges. Hell, they didn't even win the championship their first year together. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks in what is now a famous black eye for LeBron's resume. Kevin Durant and Golden State, on the other hand, had no real opposition or trials. I even congratulated the Warriors publicly for winning the NBA championship the day they signed Kevin Durant. That's how obvious this outcome ultimately was. Now I'm going to bring up a point that I never hear anyone else mention, but I really think it exposes the real difference between what KD did and what LeBron did. The one team that LeBron could have joined, and it would have been the same as KD's decision to go to the Warriors, was not the Miami Heat, but actually it was the Boston Celtics. Let's take a moment to look back at LeBron's free agency at the end of the 2010 season and compare LeBron and the Celtics to KD's decision to go to Golden State, because the resemblance is strikingly similar. When LeBron went to Miami, he was building something new. He signed there simultaneously with 2 other prime superstars. Miami was not an already established title contender like the Boston Celtics were. When LeBron could have joined Boston in the summer of 2010, they were a 3-headed monster of a super team that had just won the NBA championship 2 years prior, just like Golden State when Kevin Durant joined. Boston's super team was coming off of a loss in the NBA Finals in an epic 7-game series, just like Golden State was when KD joined. LeBron had just been eliminated from the playoffs by the same Boston Celtics that he could have ultimately joined, just like Kevin Durant was eliminated by the Warriors that he did end up joining. The Boston Celtics had more than just an already established 3-headed monster. They had a deep roster with proven and competent veterans, just like Golden State did. Are you beginning to see how unbelievably similar these situations were? As big as LeBron signing in Miami was, if LeBron did end up joining Boston instead, the response would have been even worse to his decision and would have looked extremely close to how KD was received upon his move to Golden State. Once LeBron was in Miami, they may have been considered favorites, but they weren't just seen as a foregone conclusion that they were going to win the championship. With LeBron in Miami, we knew that they potentially still had to go through the defending champs, Kobe and the Lakers, and the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Boston Celtics. If LeBron had joined Boston, he obviously would have no real threat in the conference because he had just joined them. Could you really see Kobe and the Lakers as a threat to LeBron and Boston when they had just barely squeaked out a 4-point victory in the deciding game of the NBA championship before he joined them? Man, does this sound at all familiar to you? With LeBron and Boston, just like with KD and Golden State, there would have been no real opposition. They would have steamrolled the entire NBA. Almost everyone around the basketball community would have hated them, and everyone would have been simply waiting for that dynasty to split up before their team could have any realistic shot at an NBA championship. That is what it could have been, but that is also the state of the NBA today. So essentially, what LeBron did by joining Miami was the first in its own right, but what KD did in joining Golden State, well, that's something else entirely. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, I'm doing an NBA jersey giveaway as long as we can hit 1,000 subscribers before Valentine's Day. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and comment on any of my videos with a comment #JerseyGiveaway. Full details of the contest are in the video description. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.